Hello, welcome to day 6 of A Thread of Hope. We are once again going to walk Jesus' footsteps in the Old Testament, and I hope this is blessing you. We are in Exodus. We started a little bit there yesterday. I love the book of Exodus. You talk about a book that is so rich in history and so compelling. There is imagery, there is symbolism, ceremony, and celebration. It is such a great book. Whenever we think of a good novel that we want to read, what do we want it to have? Action, intrigue, and love. You find all of that in spades in Exodus. So it is just an amazing book. We could spend the entire 40 days just looking at Jesus in Exodus and be blessed. But we are going to go through just like we have all the rest of it. And I do want to remind you the hourglass, because this is important right now. The first 11 books of Genesis, which span 2,000 years, God took care of the whole world. Now we're watching him narrow down the scope of who he's taking care of. He chose a family that has now become a nation, and this is where his focus is. It's part of his redemption plan, and it's an important part so that we can get to Jesus and the fulfillment of his redemption plan. So yesterday we did talk a little bit about Moses and Jesus, and I saved my favorite ways that they're alike for today. There is just a little bit more. In Numbers 12:3, we learn that Moses is considered to be the most humble man to ever walk the face of the earth. And this is in scriptures, and of course before Jesus comes, but Jesus humbly walked on this earth as well. Also, both Moses and Jesus were called servants of the Lord. Moses died so that his people could enter the promised land that God promised Abraham and continued to promise even through Moses. And Jesus died so that we can all enter into eternity and no longer be separated from God. They were both shepherds, they were both prophets, they were both priests, and they were both leaders. Moses led the people, the nation of Israel, out of Egypt, and for many years after that, and Jesus is king. God singles out Moses because he needed a mediator, because God himself cannot look on sin. That comes from Habakkuk 1:13. Sometimes I think we misunderstand the holiness and reverence of God. We get so caught up in the inspiration and the praise and the worship, all things that I absolutely adore and think they are so important to spend time with our holy God. But he is still separate from us at this point in time, and he is holy and he is sacred. And when Moses encounters God on the mountainside where that bush is burning, God says, "Stop, don't come any closer," because that is sacred, holy ground. Now, Moses was able to stand near that ground and not die. Typically, people died there, but he was able to do that because it says the Lamb of God, the angel of the Lord was there. And we talked earlier about how no one has seen the face of God except the Son. And Jesus is a mediator for us. So the angel of the Lord was on that mountainside and that burning bush with Moses. So it would make sense that Moses was talking to Jesus at that time. So let's just chew on this for a moment. Moses is a mediator for God, the quintessential mediator. But Moses needs a mediator. And his mediator is Jesus of the triune God. That just blows my mind. And it's just one of the ways that we see Jesus woven into the Bible. And it's just amazing. Charles Spurgeon says that we must approach the Lord through a mediator, and this mediator walks on behalf of his people. And he goes on to say, the most striking parallel there is between Moses and Jesus is that they are both unique bridges to God because of their special relationship with him. Each of them, in a sense, has a foot in both worlds, the human and the divine. And though Moses pales significantly in both capacities compared to Christ, Moses more closely resembles Jesus than any other person and therefore prefigures him. The relationship between Moses and Jesus, the similarities between Moses and Jesus are just mind-blowing to me. If we don't make an effort to read and understand the Old Testament, we are missing out on this and so much else. We're missing out on how sacred God is. Jesus came as another mediator for us. Both Moses and Jesus bridge gaps for us with God that only they can do. And I just love that. So let's skip ahead to the Passover. Oh my gosh, there is so much Jesus in the Passover, and it is so important to the whole story, the whole piece of redemption, the whole plan of redemption that God has planned for us. Pharaoh has had no part of letting the Israelites out of Egypt, and we are to the final plague that he has put out there. Just from the little bit that we have discussed, it's clear that humanity needs a sacrifice. There have been numerous occasions when an animal had to be sacrificed on behalf of the people, making it a substitution. The first animal that was sacrificed was the animal that had to die so Adam and Eve could wear their skins. And it goes from there. Friends, we all know about the death of Christ. And here we see an early glimpse of the significance of his death. Just before the final plague happens, God commands his people, the Israelites, to take a lamb without blemish, kill it at twilight, and put the blood over the top and on the sides of the doorposts of their home. Surely we can see the beautiful symbolism as God protects his firstborn people, the firstborn of his people, and Jesus, who is referred to as the spotless lamb, will be sacrificed for us, protecting us from the complete separation of God or over death. We have now traced this story from the beginning of time to a man named Moses, a man God will use to save his people and foreshadow God's own coming. The redemption plan is all because he loves us so much. If you don't feel that kind of love from Jesus, I invite you to reach out to me through Facebook, through my email, which is nitawilkinson1@gmail.com. If you have my phone number, reach out to me. I would love to tell you more about Jesus and how he changed my life. Because if you don't understand the love that I'm talking about, I want you to. There is nothing like it. Just like Jesus chose the Israelites, he chose me and he chooses you too. Thank you for dropping in with me today, and I look forward to tomorrow. Have a great day.